El Clásico 2012, the night Ronaldo silenced Camp Nou with Calma, Calma. El Clásico has always existed beyond football because every meeting between Real Madrid and Barcelona carries with it years of history, political tension, pride, and emotional warfare that no tactical plan can fully contain. By April 2012, that rivalry had reached one of its most intense peaks, as Barcelona, under Pep Guardiola, symbolized dominance through possession and control, while Real Madrid, led by José Mourinho, represented resistance, structure, and an unrelenting desire to break that dominance. The stage could not have been more hostile. Camp Nou was vibrating long before kickoff, filled with whistles, banners, and an atmosphere designed to suffocate opponents rather than welcome competition. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this environment was familiar, yet heavier than usual, because by then he was no longer just a star, but the face of Real Madrid's challenge to Barcelona's era. From the opening minutes, the match unfolded like a battle of nerves. Barcelona controlled possession with patience, circulating the ball as they had done so many times before, while Real Madrid remained compact, disciplined, and ready to explode forward at the slightest opening. Every duel felt personal. Every whistle intensified the noise pouring down from the stands, especially when Ronaldo touched the ball. When Sami Khedira opened the scoring for Real Madrid, the reaction inside Camp Nou was not shock, but rage, because the lead threatened the familiar narrative. Barcelona responded quickly through Alexis Sanchez, restoring belief and igniting the stadium once more, as if the order of things had been re-established. Yet beneath the surface, something was shifting. Ronaldo had been tightly marked, fouled repeatedly, and whistled relentlessly. But rather than losing composure, he grew increasingly focused, conserving energy and waiting for the moment when chaos would create opportunity. He understood that in matches like this, patience was not passive, but strategic. As the game stretched and spaces began to appear, Real Madrid launched a counterattack that felt inevitable in retrospect. Mesut Ozil carried the ball forward with intelligence, drawing defenders out of position, while Ronaldo timed his run with instinct born of countless hours of preparation. When the pass arrived, everything slowed. One controlled touch, one precise finish. The ball rolled past Victor Valdés with a calm that contrasted violently with the chaos surrounding it. And then, football history paused. The goal itself was decisive, but what followed transformed it into something legendary, because Cristiano Ronaldo did not celebrate with aggression, defiance, or exaggerated emotion, even though the entire stadium had spent the night attempting to provoke exactly that response. Instead, he turned toward the stands and raised his hands slowly, pressing them downward in a gesture that demanded silence. Calma, calma. In a stadium designed to overwhelm opponents through noise and hostility, the reaction was immediate and unsettling. The sound dropped, not completely, but enough to be felt, because for a brief moment, tens of thousands of voices had no answer. Ronaldo was not asking for calm out of fear or respect. He was asserting it through control. That was what made the gesture so powerful. It was not arrogance, because arrogance seeks validation. It was not provocation, because provocation feeds on reaction. This was composure imposed under pressure, a psychological statement that Real Madrid no longer entered Camp Nou as victims of the atmosphere. Barcelona players sensed it instantly. Their passing lost some of their usual patience. Attacks became more rushed, less fluid, as if the emotional rhythm they relied on had been disrupted. For years, Camp Nou had functioned as an amplifier of confidence, but now it felt uncertain, unable to impose itself with the same authority. On the touchline, José Mourinho understood exactly what had happened. His team had not only taken the lead, but seized emotional control of the match. The celebration reflected everything he had built, a side capable of absorbing pressure, resisting intimidation, and striking with precision rather than chaos. Ronaldo's teammates responded accordingly. There was no wild celebration, no loss of focus. They regrouped immediately, maintaining structure and discipline as if the gesture itself had transmitted instructions. Stay calm, stay together, finish the job. The whistles returned, but their tone had changed. They lacked certainty. Something intangible had cracked, and in El Clásico, those cracks are often more decisive than tactics. The match had become more than a contest of skill. It was now a test of psychological strength, and Real Madrid had seized the advantage without raising their voices. As the final minutes approached, Barcelona pushed forward with urgency, but their movements felt strained rather than confident, because the belief that Camp Nou could overwhelm any opponent had been quietly challenged. Real Madrid, instead of retreating into desperation, defended with clarity, controlling space and time as if they belonged there. When the final whistle confirmed a 2-1 victory for Real Madrid, the significance of the result extended far beyond the league table. This was not just a win, it was a statement that the balance of power in Spanish football was no longer fixed, and that Barcelona's era, though still brilliant, was no longer unchallenged. The reaction was immediate. Newspapers across the world focused less on tactics and more on one frozen image: Ronaldo commanding silence in the heart of enemy territory. Analysts debated whether the gesture was respectful or disrespectful, yet that debate only amplified its meaning, because regardless of interpretation, the authority of the moment was undeniable. Within Barcelona's fan base, opinions split sharply. Some saw arrogance and provocation. Others recognized something far more unsettling, a sign that Real Madrid had stopped fearing Camp Nou. That realization lingered longer than the defeat itself. Inside Real Madrid's dressing room, the victory reinforced belief. Players spoke of how that night changed their mindset, proving that control could be achieved even in the most hostile environments. Ronaldo, when questioned, refused to dramatize the moment. He explained that the match required calm, because when emotions dominate, mistakes follow. The simplicity of that explanation only reinforced how intentional the gesture had been. As the season progressed, that Clásico increasingly felt like the turning point. Real Madrid surged forward with confidence, while Barcelona, for the first time under Guardiola, appeared vulnerable to psychological pressure. And at the center of it all remained a single image, quietly reshaping the narrative of an era. With time, many El Clásico moments have blended into history, replaced by newer goals, newer controversies, and newer heroes. Yet this image of Cristiano Ronaldo's Calma, Calma celebration has endured because it captured something rare, a moment when dominance was expressed through restraint rather than chaos. That night in 2012 marked Ronaldo's transformation from an extraordinary scorer into a psychological force within football's greatest rivalry. He did not attempt to dominate through volume or provocation. He dominated by slowing the world down when everyone else expected explosion. For Barcelona, the gesture exposed an uncomfortable truth: that atmosphere alone could no longer guarantee control. For Real Madrid, it symbolized a mental shift, proof that they could walk into the most hostile stadium in Europe and impose their will without losing composure. Years later, debates continue about the meaning of that celebration, but its power lies precisely in its ambiguity. It was neither insult nor apology. It was a declaration of presence, delivered without excess and without explanation. Ronaldo would go on to achieve greater records and write even larger chapters in football history. Yet this moment remains unique because it distilled confidence, timing, and psychological mastery into a single, unforgettable gesture. In the mythology of El Clásico, where legends are often forged in chaos, Cristiano Ronaldo left behind something far more unsettling: silence. And in that silence, his legacy spoke louder than any roar ever could.